In recent times in Space Engineers, I've been having a lot of fun with suit only starts. So you go start the star system, you load in, you pick suit only, and you try and find something that's going to let you stay alive long enough. However, with the Apex update, this has been removed, which kind of makes a bit of sense when you see how it works if you don't make any other changes. So if I just go into the settings here, I can find down here, enable spacesuit respawn, click start, and then I can click spacesuit and click respawn, and we start with not much health, not much food, not much oxygen, and not much power. This gives me enough to survive about 3 minutes, which is not enough.
Your health is critical.
I've tried this a few times. It did not go well. So what can you do? Well, if you go back to the menu again and find our survival section, we can turn off reduced stats on respawn. And then when you start with the spacesuit start, you'll start with your usual 100, 100, 100 of everything, which gives you just about enough time to sit around and wait for something to spawn and then go and try and find it. And the more I thought about this, as I was like, I really like the idea of doing a suit only start with food to add that extra bit of pressure, but I really didn't want to have to sit around waiting. And that kind of brought me to another conclusion, which is maybe the suit only start isn't the fun bit. Maybe the fun bit is this is a new way of doing the crashed red ship start, but without an abundance of resources. So taking those things in mind, what I did was came up with a way to start your game with one of the random encounters that Keen have added to the game. So you can start with one of these encounters right within range, thanks to this mod, and also thanks to Grozop making it possible for you to spawn in something that you don't own. What this means is, when we load up the game with these mods active, you now have this as a selection of spawn starts. You've got a whole bunch of different specific ones which you can pick so that you can redo the same scenario over again, and you can play it that way if you find one that you like. Or you can select random wreckage. And with random wreckage, you just get a random start. So you'll spawn beside a spawn pod like that, and there'll be a wreck nearby, which you may need to chase, depending on what you end up finding here. But if you... Oh, come on, let me catch up to you. Okay, so some of these might be a bit more difficult than others. Some of them, it's possible they are actually impossible. I haven't tested all these, but there is one that I've done a few times which is quite a challenge, and I would really like to see if I can actually get it done. So let's pick the privateer. So I'm going to pick the privateer, and we are going to see if I can actually be successful this time, as I have failed it what feels like many, many times. I think it was only like 4 though, but it still feels like a lot. When you spawn in, you'll be met with something horrible like this, with usually things spinning, lots of fire, lots of things going wrong, and having to figure out what to do next. But the challenge here is starting out with something like this and figuring out how to get enough things done before you run out of oxygen and power. Well, oxygen, power, and a bunch of other things. So I'm gonna hack this cargo container, drop off everything I'm carrying. I know that there's a move block through here somewhere, and I've got to clear it out so that the ship stops moving, and that's going to make everything a lot easier and a lot less stressful. There are so many starts here that hopefully this will give everyone plenty of fun to be had, even as you learn each start and figure out what you're supposed to do for each one to be successful with it. As you can see, it very effectively shortcuts a lot of the waiting around that we deal with when we're playing with something like a suit only start. Now I want to make a seat so I can sit down, which means I need to build this because I've left progression on, because progression is another roadblock that gets in the way that, you know, honestly here, it's kind of almost fun because it does mean I have to do things in a weird order, and that's an extra challenge. Okay, let's get a seat because I need a way to be able to... What? Where is seat? Make a desk. Will do. Just need something. And quickly. Alrighty, so we have an oxygen tank over here that's damaged, so we don't have an oxygen supply from that. If I hop in this seat, we can have a look at what's on board this ship, and we do not appear to have another oxygen tank. We just have the one. So no oxygen supply. So that means early goal is get some oxygen. And I think the quickest way for me to do that is to make an oxygen farm on the outside and strap a cockpit to it so that I can refill my oxygen. And then from there, I can hopefully get more than just one. The big challenge is going to be getting enough silicon to make that work. So I'm going to need to break down some components around here and convert them into silicon so that I can make the glass, because there's a lot of glass in an oxygen farm. Alright, let's take this down. There's a screen there. You've got a little bit of glass in you. Then we'll pop outside. These ships may be armed. These starts may not be possible. If you find one that you feel is impossible, let me know, because I might take up the challenge and see if I can do it on stream one day. Because it's kind of fun when things might actually be impossible. It is entirely plausible that I did not test all these properly, because I didn't. I just tested them just enough that I know they can load into the game and not be obviously broken. I do not need to break down that door. That is a waste of my time. Now, speaking of turrets, there's one at the front here, which I'm going to, whoop, there it is, detach from the ship. I can deal with it. Come on, come on, come on, come on! We are facing, I guess it doesn't really matter which way we're facing, because I'm going to build a cockpit on here and I will be able to rotate things. But we need to make, in order to make a cockpit, we need a landing gear. Let's make a mag plate. We'll go inside where I've got all the components. Get this built. That gives us access to cockpits. Get rid of it. Cockpit, the reason I go for this is it's got a conveyor port, so I can easily hook it up to an oxygen farm. So if we pop that down there, then we go for a conveyor. Because I built that cargo container earlier, I should have access to those. Conveyor junction there, and then we want an oxygen farm. So I need to get 8 displays and 95 computers from around the place. As well as a whole bunch of other stuff. Let's see what else we need after we grab those using build planner and grab stuff that I've already put in the cargo. Yeah, still lots of stuff to find. Power's oxygen's down to 50%, so I've used half of my time available so far. I have only half of it left. Oh boy. I've put some bulletproof glass in this, so I'm going to hack that out and switch it over to here. So I do not need the bulletproof glass in the cockpit. Alright, computer sources around here. Thrusters don't have them. Doors don't have them. Cargo containers do. Oh, there's bulletproof glass in this armory. We'll grab that. And displays. This cargo terminal has a couple. In fact, I need to do this a different way. I just realized. I need to build an assembler. Because I'm not going to have enough computers to make an assembler after I make that cockpit. So let's pop basic assembler down here. We'll get it built first. So that means more motors, I think. Changing plans quickly. Try to do these things quickly. There's another cargo terminal. We'll grab bits from it. It's got some useful stuff. I don't think any of these have any materials in them. So I'm not going to worry about grinding them down the whole way and grabbing and hacking any part out of them. But this will at least get me some stuff. There we go. Now we're just down to the computers for the basic assembler. The basic assembler will be able to turn those displays into glass. I've got radio communication components in these antennas. I can break them down for silicon. There are quite a few bits around here that I need to get through quickly. That's not where I put the assembler. There it is. 47 of 80. Alright, we're getting there. What's in here? Ah, you've got bulletproof glass. Nice. In the shower. Does the toilet have it? No. Button has some computers. We'll grab those. And you, what do you have? You've got thruster components, superconductors, and reactors. So that's not particularly useful. This doesn't have anything useful in it at the moment, but it will do later. The gravity components will be useful if I get to the point of being ready for a survival kit. 20 computers in this AI offensive block, which makes me wonder if there's another AI block somewhere on this ship. And that's a lot more computers. And there's another 10, as well as some displays on this event controller. There's my assembler done, which means we can start breaking down silicon-containing components. So disassembly, let's just stack up a bunch of those and stack up a bunch of those. Ah, there's another one. Nice. These are good with all of their computers in them.
No energy.
No, that's not good. Should have been watching that. I've got 21 oxygen left. I have to do this so quickly. I have so little time. And I like to approach this like it's a hardcore scenario. So even if I got a survival kit first, I would still feel like the quote-unquote right way for me to play is to try and do it all without a respawn anyway. Alright, just need the computers for the cockpit, and I need 5 more bulletproof glass. There's probably some other bits around here. But I think with only 13 oxygen remaining, I need to get this done sooner rather than later and not worry about doing this perfectly. Alright, production. Now we need to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can't remember how many computers. It's alright, we can break them down if I make too many. How many does it say? 78. 9 oxygen remaining. 9 remaining. Okay, but we have 1 oxygen farm made. I really hope that can get some oxygen out of it. Need 50 more computers in the next 8 oxygen remaining. 7. Come on, assembler. Give me them goods. Give me. Okay. Here we are. Here we are. Ah, stuck in the door. There we go. Cockpit, new blocks, and I should be able to rotate the ship such that we can face this at the sun. Maximize the oxygen output of that farm. And our oxygen should start going up. I hope. There we go. 5. We're up to 5. We went down as low as 4. Now this is a very, very, very slow way to get oxygen. Like, incredibly slow. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to head back to this asteroid, try and get relatively close to it so that I can have a source of stone, because then we can build a basic refinery, start refining some stone, and hopefully use that to get a little bit of extra silicon to get a second oxygen farm. Because I don't think we will be able to get a farm, an algae farm, or even enough algae farms up and running quickly enough if I don't also have more oxygen, because I'm going to spend so much time in this cockpit that I won't actually be able to produce enough in time. And if you're thinking right now, wow, this sounds really stressful. I mean, yeah, maybe. A little bit. Kinda. Yeah, it is. But it for me, it's fun stressful. Because I'm pretty sure this one is possible if you do everything pretty close to right. I already had to remove a couple of these scenarios from the mod because they actually were impossible. But we'll have to find out which other ones might be. Oxygen up to 10, 11. And now we wait. So I've now got 20 oxygen. I am going to start doing some quick planning. So, step 1 is we're going to get a basic refinery out here and a proper assembler. So, I'll put down a proper assembler here. No, not that way. That way. Then I'll put a basic refinery next to it. 17 oxygen. Like so. We should be able to get the parts for these fairly quickly, because there's nothing particularly fancy. The main thing will be getting the assembler to make the necessary parts for things like the computers for the assembler, which I can do while I'm sitting in the cockpit getting my oxygen up. But I wanted to see what stuff I actually need. So I need 10 displays for the assembler, and for this I need 10 computers. Alright, I need 10 motors and a bunch of steel plate. The motors might be a tricky part of this, because I do not have much of a source for them. But I do have metal grids, and I have them in abundance, so I should be able to break down those metal grids for the nickel that's needed for the motors. So what I'll do is I'm going to grind down this bit of heavy armor around here. Grab what metal grids I can quickly grab. Chuck them in the cargo down here. And hop back in my seat to get my oxygen back up. Just quickly checking this. It was 10 motors. Yep. Alright. Production. Disassembling. Let's break those guys down. So if we have a look at our basic assembler, I sort of glossed over it quickly. Displays have silicon. Quite a lot of it actually. It's 1.67 kilos, which, yeah, still need 3 of them to break down for a bit of bulletproof glass, but it's a good start. Computers really don't have much, so breaking them down to try and build the glass early on doesn't make a lot of sense. Better to try and convert between this and this. But for your basic assembler, there's not really much else we can do around here that's going to get us silicon, because we don't have any solar panels. Keep making sure that I'm lined up as well as I can be to the sun, maximizing my oxygen while I'm sitting in this cockpit. And there we are. Basic refinery done. In a second. Okay, hop back in the cockpit. Go back to production. And I wonder. Use silicon. Okay. I need to actually go down there. I'm going to pop my tools in. I'm going to make slightly improved tools. All of these will be valuable, but I suspect while I'm mining some stone to get some more silicon, the drill's going to be particularly valuable. But obviously the grinder is going to save me a lot of time too. And quickly get some stone. I'm curious how much I'm actually going to get from a single load of stone here. In terms of silicon, inventory, refinery. It's not looking great, I'll admit. What's this going to be? It's not even 2 pieces of glass. If I press Control G and do build from cockpit, we can have a look at our block menu while we're sitting here. And if we go for oxygen farm, to get the basics of an oxygen farm made, we need 40 bulletproof glass. So, oh dear. That is a problem. Now I need another 9 motors and 6 displays. And obviously all the computers, but 9 motors and 6 displays is the main thing. And I've run out of silicon before I got this done. Let's check my cargo again. Did I have anything else? No. I could grab some more of these parts out of here, which might be a quicker way of getting these bits of silicon. Break down more of my broadcast systems so that I can get more of those antenna components. There's a beacon over this way, which is deep inside. And it's deep inside heavy armor, so I'm not going to worry about that. What about these guys? These guys have 20 computers in them, so I could spend a fair bit of time grinding these down, but it is a lot of time grinding this down. Like, this is getting me a lot of steel plate, sure, but oh boy. It's going to be a long time to get the motors out of an artillery turret. However, I do believe there is another weapon system on this that has a lot of computers, so we might be able to go and use that instead. But since I was talking and got this far, I thought I would finish the job. Need to move the cargo outside as well, once I get this sorted. So, at the front of the ship, there is this little guy. This little guy has 100 computers, which is exactly what I need. It also has power cells to break down, which is quite handy. One thing I would need to test, but might be the case, is that I do have reduced oxygen consumption when I'm in a cockpit. I don't know if it's a further reduction if I go into a cryopod. So there may be some advantages to going into a cryopod instead of the cockpit when I need to recharge my oxygen. Aha! Yes, power cells are also good to break down because they have 0.3 silicon in them. It's a lot of power cells to break down for one bit of glass, but it is something. The alternative approach, which I may take, is to try and equip this ship with a drill. Because if I can get a drill on here, particularly on the end of the assembler with the way that I've arranged it, we should be able to drill a lot more material a lot more quickly. Obviously, that's not a great position with where the thruster is, so I might have to repipe it a little bit to do something a bit better. Cargo access and everything out here so I don't have to move inside every time, because that's definitely wasting me some time. Alright, just 30 computers to go. 6 oxygen remaining. Alright, got all the bits out. 5 oxygen remaining. I need to say this out loud or I stop paying attention to it and I get myself killed. Okay, now I can hop in my cockpit and it is now connected to the assembler. So I can get all these bits out and I can put stuff in my inventory while I'm sitting here gaining oxygen. Okay, cargo containers. Done. Is that going to give me enough room for a drill? No, I still need a little bit more space, so let's keep grabbing the stuff out of here so I've got access to it all. And I think I know another way I can get some silicon. So in this gun up here, there's some ammo.
Inventory.
That ammo uses a lot of silicon. So I'm going to grab everything I can out of it, see if I can get this on my current oxygen supply. It's going to be tricky because I've got... This has so many power cells in it that I'm probably not going to even get through a small fraction of it. Maybe. Large steel tubes don't help me either. There we go, we got some sabo. Let's pop it in the container. Hop in the cockpit. Rotate the ship around. Keep that sun pointing straight at that oxygen farm. And production. Disassembly. We want to go with ammo. And these sabo have 10 silicon. That's 2 glass each, and I've got 8 of them. So that's 16 glass. Nice. That helps a lot. Let's have a look at the artillery shell though. No. Not particularly useful. Any others that have silicon other than the sabo? Rockets? Not very much though, enough for a computer, that's it. These advanced components don't really have anything that's going to help me either. Superconductors don't. Reactor components don't. Thruster components don't. Oh, let's get glass made. See how close I am. 12. Not close enough. We're down at 62 food, so I think I've got a decent amount of time left to get an algae farm up. Let's get a drill. Just need 5 motors. Okay, we should be good. Just pick these up. No. No, I can't make enough. No, I'm gonna have to wait. Break down a few more of these metal grids, get these motors, and then we'll have that drill. And with the drill up, I'm kind of in a pretty good spot. As long as I don't run myself out of oxygen accidentally while I'm drilling, I should be relatively well set up now to get plenty of materials to make my oxygen farms. And hopefully with the second one, I won't be running out quite so quickly, and then maybe I can repair a tank, get a bottle or something like that. Oops, ooh, crunch. Crunch. A little bit of crunch. That's okay. Just keep the sun focused on the oxygen tank. Farm. Because if you don't keep that sun focused, it does not end well. I have done a dumb with that exact thing. Let's see how we're going. Refinery. Getting some silicon. Production. Got almost half of the glass. It is tricky to get a lot of silicon this way, but it is the best method I think I've got right now. Alright, drill's full of stone, so now it's just a case of waiting for that to get processed. Just 11 glass to go, so I'm going to place down the next farm. Just 2 more to go. Alright, there it is. Oh no. Accidentally welded the wrong one. There we go. Now we got 2. Now let's see how quickly my oxygen goes up. It's still slow, but my oxygen's up to 38. This is going alright. I might aim for a 3rd one before I get too carried away and try to do some other stuff. No, I was still not. I still don't have enough oxygen production that my cockpit starts getting full while I'm not in it, which is disappointing. Hey, I've got a survival buff. I've been alive that long. That means I'm using up slightly less oxygen. Woo! Now, are we out of stone? Nope, still got plenty. Still got a bit anyway. Now I can collect stone quicker than I can refine it. If I want to speed things up further, I should probably add another basic refinery, so that I can process it and get that silicon up quickly, because I'm going to need more. I'm going to need even more for the algae farms as well. It's not like once I get these oxygen farms up, I'm all sorted. Still need heaps more after that. There we go, farm number 3 up and running. Alright, let's get another basic refinery going. I'm going to leave the glass being produced for this 4th farm, but it seems like it might be time for me to get a survival kit and an oxygen tank. So let's hop inside, grab some of the bits and pieces that might be useful for that. Nothing really in there. Useful bits are in this shelf. I don't know if there's actually enough silver in the gravity components here. I'm about to find out. I actually don't think there is. Well, nuts. Oh, reactor components might get me the rest of the way. Oh yeah, that's promising. It's 6.67 per medical component, which means I need 20? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. And it looks like I've got it. Exactly. Nice. And 4th farm up and running. Now I said that a bit too soon. Alright, we got the bits for the survival kits. Let's build that. Come this far. Be sad to die horribly and not have a place to respawn. I built all of this as a kind of barnacle on the outside of the ship to speed up the process. I could have started building it inside and to prep myself for a bit more of a continuation of this, but I really wanted to survive first, and then you can always do that stuff after. And there we are. We have a survival kit. Next up, oxygen tank. One of the reasons I didn't bother trying to build off the existing ship and where its oxygen tank and things were was that I kind of gutted it at the start. And trying to find all of the bits and pieces, where they are and how I needed to conveyor it up, and would have taken more time, which I don't have much of, although it's improving because my oxygen is nearly full now. It would have taken so much time of the limited amount I have running around building that I don't think it would have been worth it to begin with. There we go, we have an oxygen tank. Let's see. Are you filling? Input O2. I think it's filling the cockpit right now. Let's see. Yeah, it was filling the cockpit. Okay. Interesting. Today I learned you need to have a tank in order for the cockpit to actually fill. You can still fill yourself up from the cockpit via oxygen farms without one, but the cockpit itself doesn't seem to fill. So that's cool. My oxygen is at 100. Which means we have a look at our tank. It has stored a liter. Woo! We have 1 liter of oxygen. And it is growing. So that's oxygen, power, health. And that's all. Food should be fairly easy because I'm already set up to have farms and things. So let's get some farms. Might use the half algae farms maybe because I could fit a couple like this. Yeah, that should work. Pretty sure that doesn't block the oxygen farm at all. There we go. Algae farm. Ooh, it is sort of blocking the oxygen farm though, so I don't like that. It's not a good idea. Because that's the only one with the single pip dropped, so nope, won't do that. We'll do this. There we go, got 2 algae farms, 4 regular oxygen farms. Cockpit fills me up to 100% the moment I get in. If we have a look at the oxygen tank, our 1 liter has become 18. Not bad. So I think I'm almost in a position where I can start heading towards the Earth-like planet for my eventual return to home safely. So I figure that's kind of a nice end point for a scenario like this where I'm really just testing it out. It's like, okay, I made it home safely. I'm now in an environment where I can survive without needing my ship. Of course, I might need some parachutes to make that work. Okay, I now have enough algae to make some crisps. So let's go to production, find my survival kit. I'll put these basically on infinite production. And it should grab the bits. Except, I think I did a dumb when I placed the survival kit and I didn't actually pipe it up. No, I did. Why are the crisps not being made? Oh, that'd be why. It's full of stone. There we are. Our first crisp, and I'm eating it. I reckon I'm going to get those quickly enough that I'm not really going to be at any risk of starvation. Alright, time for me to fly to Earthlike because I have got food sorted, I've got health sorted, I've got power sorted, I've got oxygen sorted, and when I get to the Earth-like planet, I will have ice sorted. And I've got, I think, enough power to make it there. I hope. Because when I'm not moving, it's 10 hours. And the refineries are running, so they're using up a decent amount of power right now, so they'll use up even less once I get moving. Properly. Because I won't be picking up stone all the time. Speaking of stone, how much have I got before I leave? I want to make sure I've got enough silicon if I do need to make solar panels, I can make them. Point it at the planet and get some speed. While we're heading to the planet, let's get some parachutes to make this a bit more likely to actually survive the landing. Ideally, let's try and land it upright, I think. So with parachutes and landing something like this, it's always a bit tricky, I reckon, because you got to try and put them far enough out from the center of mass and balance them around the center of mass that I'm not going to crash horribly with this. I did 6 each side, yep. I'll parachute on the end of each of one of these. And then maybe I'll put some in the middle too. Maybe some at the rear as well. This should work, I think. Probably. Maybe. Perhaps. We've got 6 parachutes, so we need 30 canvas. Do I even have enough silicon to do that? Oh. Oh yeah, I forgot. Canvas uses a lot of silicon. Well, we're just gonna have to make do with what we have, which is 10. Ha. That's not ideal. I'm going to move my cockpit so that its orientation makes a bit more sense. And I'm in the gravity well. We got 2 parachutes, and we'll see if this is enough very shortly. 5 kilometers to go. I've got 43 food, so I'm pretty good. If the survival kit survives this, alongside some power for it, I will call this a successful landing. Oh, I have no idea how badly this is going to go. Down, down, down. Auto deploy. I can see trees. Auto deploy. Come on. Come on. Whoop. Oh no. Well, that's not exactly ideal. It is slow enough though. With my gyros, I think I can probably get this pretty close to an okay landing. Especially if we can manage... Oh, I didn't get lucky. I'm not hitting a tree. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Don't explode horribly. Come on. Come on. Oh. Snap. Oh, snap both of them off. Hey, but we're down. Yeah. I call that a success. What a landing. I'm going to have this mod out alongside this video, so if you want to play along with any of these starts, And as I mentioned, really thanks to Aragath and the team at Keen who have designed all of these grids and encounters that I've basically co-opted into a tougher Redshift start. I'll be back with more tutorials and more of the live stream series that I've been running at the moment, and I will see you then.